Hello, hello, everyone. What is up? It's been so long since I've sat down and had a conversation with you guys. I have been gone for so long. I was doing pretty well before this. I feel like I was posting very consistently since I first started. And then I recently just went to France. I went with my mom and we had the most amazing time. So it was so good, so needed. I had been working really hard prior to that trip. So I just felt like it was a much, much needed mother-daughter bonding time for us. So it was really good. However, the mistake I made was I should have recorded content before I left on this trip so that I could continue posting regularly. And I didn't do that. And clearly, I did not create any videos. And now I'm behind and I'm sitting here and I just feel a little bit out of practice. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I forgot how to do this. I don't even know what to talk about. I'm like, what is my page even about? So I figured, you know what? I really just got to record some kind of video just to, grease my elbows a little bit and kind of get in the flow again. And then hopefully, so this video is going to be a little bit of a life lately kind of video just to catch you up on where I'm at, since it's been a while since we've had any kind of conversation. And then the next video, we'll get back into little trainings and tidbits here and there. So, as you know, I did go to France. It was like such a beautiful trip. We started off in Paris, and I had been to Paris before, but this time, and I keep saying this, like this trip just hit so different. Part of the reason is because the timing of when we went. We went, it's September right now. So we went at the 1st of September and the weather was beautiful. It was not too hot. It was not cold. We did have some jackets and some shawls. It was a little cold. I think it was like in the 50, like high 50s and 60s. And then I think it got into the 70s too during the day. So it was a little chilly, but yeah, it was like, but it was sunny and it was beautiful. And that city, you really have to see it when it's sunny. Because the previous time I went there, it was Thanksgiving week and it was really cold. It was very overcast, and I just didn't enjoy it as much as this time. So amazing. I mean, we were like floored at how gorgeous the scenery was. And I think it also really helped that we stayed in a certain part of Paris. And that really helped as well because it was just like a very like classy area of the city. I felt very safe walking around and it just felt a little like bougie, it just felt really, really nice. So I'm really happy we did that. Um, and in case you're curious as to like where we stayed, the hotel we stayed at was called Le Prade. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's kind of where it is. Or basically, if you stay around the Louvre Museum, like you'll be good to go. Any hotels around that area is like perfect. Like that's the area you want to be in. And then from there, we went a little bit. So actually, we rented a car when we were in Paris after when we were leaving, and I drove the car, which is, kind of a big deal for me because I'm in a foreign country. I don't know the roads. The roads in Paris are a little hectic. There's like lots of cars, a lot of traffic, and I don't really know all the street signs, so it was a little nerve-wracking. And like there were some moments in the very, very beginning when we were trying to leave the car, the parking garage where the rental car was kept, when I think I was like going against the traffic, like I was going kind of on oncoming traffic potentially. So it was a little scary at first, but once we finally like got on the right road and we got out and started to drive like towards our next destination, it was all good. Because it was like mostly highways at that point, and so it was actually very easy to drive once we did that. And so basically, we left Paris and we made our way onto Burgundy. And we wanted to have like a countryside experience. So we went and we stayed in near this place called Beaune. And it's a very, very small village, very quaint. And one thing I noticed though, um, is that I was the only person there that like looked like me. Everyone was like white, 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 like white complexion. You could tell they were just like white. And my mom, she looks white, so she definitely fit in. And I definitely felt like the outcast, like the outsider. And it was kind of interesting and a little weird at the same time. But yeah, so when we went to Burgundy, that's when we explored castles, wineries, and it was so cool, so beautiful. I mean, it's just like the experience of it, just you feel so like classy and elegant, and it's like the old world that they just preserved so well, and everything is so timeless and has really kept its beauty, and it was just like amazing. We were taking pictures left and right. It was just, it's so magical. Like that's the only way to describe it is like genuinely, even from Paris and on, like everything was just so magical. That's literally how I would describe this entire experience. So we did the castles, we did the wine tasting, we did some really interesting restaurants. We went to this one restaurant where they brought out like this huge thing of like meat, like grilled meat, and like it was grilled to perfection. Like the inside was so red and raw, which normally would kind of maybe for some people might gross you out, but I swear to God, it was so good. And the meat, the quality was just like amazing. It didn't have any kind of aftertaste whatsoever. It was like the cleanest tasting meat ever. Like it almost, not to say like it didn't taste like anything, but it tasted clean. Like how very clean, fresh beef should taste. And I feel like what we have in America, it's like a little bit more gamier, but like not in a good way. So we were just loving every minute of it. It was so incredible. I have, I actually posted that restaurant on Instagram if you guys are interested in like knowing where it is. I might even do something with my whole itinerary just so you guys can like kind of have an idea. Maybe I'll put in the description of this video so that you guys can go to the certain places that I thought are worthy of you going, like actually making the trip to go there. And this place was definitely one of them. And then we had like the best burger of our lives. Like my mom said, "Oh my God, this might be one of the best burgers I've ever had at like this one restaurant we went to." Why? Because just the quality was amazing. We did have a bad burger experience, so there's that too. We did go somewhere where we got the burger and it was like pulled beef, but it was like cooked in a wine sauce, so it didn't have that thing that we were looking for. And in fact, like we did not eat. We paid for the whole meal, did not even have like more than two bites of it, because it just wasn't what we were looking for, and it was very unfortunate. So. I guess just to say that like not everywhere has that thing that we were looking for. But anyway, so we did that and then still had the car and then we went to a city called Annecy. I say Annecy. I think the French people call it Annecy. We went to a place called Annecy and it was stunning. Like it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I would definitely put this on your list. We stayed there for 2 nights. I kind of wish we had stayed there a little longer. I could have easily stayed there probably for at least another night, like 3 nights. And it's a town that is like right on the lake, and the scenery was just so freaking beautiful. And we did end up going swimming, even though it was like freezing cold. We still went swimming because we were like, we cannot leave this place without going swimming. So we did that. If you do go, I do recommend going when it's warmer so that you can enjoy the lake. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot to do. It's a very, very tiny little village. So honestly, one, 2 nights is probably enough. I kind of felt like it was enough, but I would rather come back when it's a little warmer and then stay a little longer. So go when it's warm, stay for minimum 2 nights, maybe three, and it's beautiful. Like you can rent boats, you can um, definitely go swimming, you can do bike riding there. I recommend it all. Like plan to do all of that. And yeah, so pretty much that's what we did, and we ate and we did that and we ate like, we were having just like a nice time. So that was our like lakeside, beautiful scenery, not too touristic kind of place. But again, so far, everywhere we went, it was like still packed with a lot of people, but in a good way. It wasn't so packed where I felt claustrophobic or that like this is annoying. No, it was like the perfect amount of people. It was really, really nice to see a lot of people there. It was nice to go, like to just keep walking and see like a sea of people at all the restaurants. It just felt like there was a lot of aliveness and activity, and it was just really nice. Like I liked it. It was the perfect time where you have enough people to make it feel fun and exciting without it being too hot and stuffy and too crowded. It was like the perfect amount of people. Anyway, so from Annecy, then we drove to Nice. And that's where we dropped off the rental car because we figured we probably don't need the car in Nice. There's a lot of modes of transportation, and that was true. So I'm happy we dropped it off at that point. Be careful though, because I checked my credit card statement and I saw that um I got the rental car through like the Uber app, paid for it. Then they charged me an extra amount when we got there, like a deposit, plus like because I had chosen a manual car and then when I got there, I decided I wanted an automatic car. Then they charged me extra for that. Okay, so like be careful when you're ordering your Uber or your rental car. And then on top of that, because I didn't fill up the car with gas, I knew they were going to charge me. I didn't know they weren't going to charge me that much, but they should have taken it out on from the deposit. But not only did they keep my extra like $200 deposit, they charged me almost another $200 on top of that. So, I almost paid like double what I was supposed to pay. And I don't even know what to do with it because I've read the reviews of this place and I see that it's like almost impossible to get your money back. And I don't even speak the language. So I don't even know if I want to like go there, but I'm just letting you know, just be careful. I do still recommend renting a car. Um, because like you can kind of just control when you go, how many times you stop to go to use the restroom or whatever. Like you can just go and stay as long as you want. So I do definitely recommend the rental car, but be careful when it comes to checking out and getting your deposit back. All right. So when we got to Nice, I was a little surprised and not in the best way. It felt really like almost ghetto. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It just felt sketchy. It felt like I might get robbed. It felt a little scary at times. And the and basically, now that I've experienced it, I actually would recommend not staying in Nice. You don't need to stay in Nice to experience Nice. So while Nice was nice and I'm happy, we went and saw it, our next destination was actually in Cannes. And that's when it just felt like we're back in magical France again. And it felt like really like, again, kind of bougie and like elevated and nice and totally safe and all of that. And you can stay in Cannes and still see and do all the things that you could do if you were staying in Nice because it's just a train ride away. So it's actually easier to get around if you stay in Cannes because the walk from like the main city center to the train station, it's a sh much, much, much shorter walk to the train station in Cannes than it is to the train station in Nice. So I would really recommend staying in Cannes, and then it's the same train. So you whether you're staying in Nice or you're staying in Cannes, it doesn't matter. It's still going in the same direction. Like it just, like it's maybe just one extra stop to go where you want to go, but it doesn't really matter because like the amount of time you spend on the train is so immaterial because they're so fast. So maybe it's an extra 15 minutes on the train. Like who cares about that? What matters is like you're closer to the train station walking wise. Um, and yeah, it's just like it was just a nicer, more elevated experience. So that was really nice. And we stayed there for 4 days. Unfortunately, we didn't go to Saint-Tropez. I'm so, so, so sad about it. That's the only thing, probably my only regret of the trip is like we didn't plan ahead to go there earlier, even though like I knew I wanted to. Like that, we had 4 days in Cannes. That was part of the agenda. We were going to go. But apparently the day that we wanted to go, there wasn't a ferry, and so we just like couldn't make it there. But it's just another reason to go back. I had been there once before, but again, it was in the off season, so I didn't really get to experience it this time around. And I'm really bummed about that. But yeah, I'm just gonna definitely have to go back there. Now, let's talk about the food and the diet and how I did while I was on this trip. So, first of all, everything I've been teaching you guys, everything I wrote about, almost went out the door. Why? I mean, like, I'm on vacation. So, I ate whatever the F I wanted, pretty much. We ate twice a day for the most part. So we would kind of like um, by nature just do our intermittent fasting because we'd wake up and we'd get ready and do our thing, like drink our coffee and stuff. So we didn't really eat till like maybe 3, 4 hours after waking up anyway. So naturally, just based on our schedules, we were just naturally doing intermittent fasting, not even really on purpose. But genuinely, it's not like you're that hungry when you wake up anyway. At least we weren't. So naturally, we're waiting. We were having our one meal and then waiting, 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 going about our day, walking so much, and then having our next meal of the day. I, again, have never eaten more bread and more cheese in my life. There is literally zero shortage of bread and cheese when you go to Europe, especially France. Zero shortage of bread and cheese. In fact, I was like up to here. I was like almost fed up and so sick of eating bread and cheese, which I never thought in a million years I would ever say that. But I really was getting actually sick of it. Like I was getting tired of just eating bread and cheese and my mom all she wanted to do was eat bread and cheese, bless her heart, which is great. I'm so happy for her that she was able to do that. I was kind of like, okay, I like it, but I'm getting kind of tired and then like I get hungry again and I wanted it and then so I was kind of doing like this back and forth. We thought that we had gained maybe like minimum like 10 pounds each. That's what we thought. We didn't have a scale, so we couldn't really like weigh ourselves. When we got back, luckily, both of us had not really gained anything, maybe 2 pounds at the most. Maybe like, yeah. So it really ended up working out. It was fine. I'm glad we ate to our heart's content. I was like going crazy on the quiches. Like I was eating quiche every morning if I could because it was so good. It was like one of the ways I could get my eggs and my protein because finding like boiled eggs or just egg breakfast wasn't that prevalent. So the quiches, if you don't know what a quiche is, it's kind of like an egg pie. So it's like it has crust and then the inside is pure egg with sometimes some vegetables, sometimes some meat like ham and or cheese or whatever. So it was really good. One thing I really loved also about the food in France is that they don't overly salt the food, which was great. Like I left, we were actually having to add our own salt, which I would so much rather do that than to be forced to eat something that was too salty. And the food in America, I just think that they salt the food so much. But yeah, I felt really, really happy and good about that. Like I felt clean when I would eat their food. The food was just amazing and fantastic. I also drank there. And one kind of funny, interesting thing is there was one night I had like 3 martinis and I felt perfectly fine the next day. And I also had them on an empty stomach. So normally I would be sick. If I was in America and I had that, I'd probably feel pretty sick the next day. Somehow, magically, I had 3 martinis on an empty stomach and I felt perfectly fine the next day. Why? How come? How come? Why did I feel good? I don't know. I don't know. But it's almost like even their alcohol is different. Even their alcohol doesn't have as much poison or chemicals or whatever in their alcohol. And I feel like the alcohol that we have in America is different. They're giving us different crap than what they get. So, I don't know. I felt like a million dollars and I didn't feel sick at all. Um, yeah, so basically if I were to leave you with like another little tidbit is like don't stay in Nice. I would just skip that. Stay in Cannes, stay in Saint-Tropez or wherever else. Also do add the city Menton on your list. You can visit it when you stay in Cannes. You can visit it. It's like another, again, short train ride to get there. And plan to take your swimsuit and go swimming because the little water area with like the view, ugh, it was amazing. We didn't take our swimsuit, so we couldn't swim, unfortunately. And we kept saying like, oh, we should definitely come back. There just wasn't enough time to come back. But I would, if I ever go back to the south of France, I'm definitely gonna go and spend a whole day there. Okay, so and then to end up, to wrap up the trip, what we did is we just took a direct train from Cannes back to Paris, stayed in Paris one night, and then flew out the next day. And that's another thing is next time if I ever plan a trip, I may just see how much it costs to fly to Paris and then fly back from the south of France to America rather than like having to make our way back to Paris to fly out from there. I don't know how much more that would cost, if it even costs more, but that's something to consider is maybe just fly out from another like airport down south. Okay. So that's kind of our trip. Again, it was amazing. It was beautiful. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. I hope these little uh these were these little tips were helpful if you ever do plan on going. Now that I'm back, so what's been going on lately? Usually when I come back from a trip, whether it's just going to LA and coming back to Miami or clearly now on this trip, like I get like this extra thing, like this extra boost of like energy to just like get back to work and get on it and start like cranking things out. And so I came back so energized and pumped up and ready to like really dive deep into work. And I have. So I have put my focus back on my business, which, as you guys know, and if you don't, I run a residential door and window company. That's what we do. And, that's my bread and butter. So, why wouldn't I focus on that, right? And I've kind of put promoting the book. In case you don't know, I also wrote a book. It's called Sexy Rich Body. So I kind of put the book promotion on hold. Clearly, I took such a kind of a long time to jump back onto YouTube again and start making videos because really, like the money part needs to be right. I have bills to pay. I have to pay off this trip to France, so that's kind of taking priority right now. Um, but I'm just kind of, yeah, ready to like jump back into all of it and do it all. And I'm really just excited and happy and yeah, just like excited to like kind of get things rolling again. So that's kind of where I'm at is like that's life lately right now is I just got back. I'm ready to dive into work. I have dived into work. So right now my focuses are work, um, losing the weight again, because I did go up in weight after I did this whole booty building training. So I want to kind of shed the weight first and start feeling a little normal, and then I'm going to get back on growing my booty on my own. And then I still am in my mentorship containers. I have some mentors so I'm kind of busy with that. And have a couple trips coming up. I am going to another Tony Robbins event. Yeah, that's coming up in October. So a lot going on right now. A lot going on. All right. So hope you enjoyed this little Life Lately update. And starting next video, I'm going to get back to our regularly scheduled program of like putting out some more content and kind of sharing with you ideas of what I'm doing. And so we can get some more training going. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your patience. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay. Bye.